Hey everyone, today we're diving into a hot topic, which is 6 Days in Fallujah. This game has been quite quiet since its release in early access. Let's explore whether the game's potential justifies its current high cost at around $60 Canadian. For those who aren't familiar, 6 Days in Fallujah is a tactical military shooter that aims to recreate the intense and harrowing experiences of the Second Battle of Fallujah. Developed by Highwire Games, the game has been in making for some time now. It's been quite a few years, I believe, and they finally released it last year. The first pro about this game, I would say, so far upon playing it is like just the level of immersion, the atmosphere, the general feeling. Um, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It has a great commitment to immersion, and the developers have gone to great lengths to recreate the atmosphere, like I just said, from the visuals to sound design, providing players with a truly intense and realistic experience. This game turns into a horror game when you are alone or with a few friends and you hear the enemy talking in the next room. It is scary. Like, it is just actually terrifying. Even when you're going about walking around out in the open, you are terrified the entire time. And that leads to the second point. The generated maps. The use of procedurally generated maps is huge. It adds an element of unpredictability and replayability, making every playthrough a unique experience in and of itself. This not only challenges you as the player strategically, but also keeps the gameplay fresh and engaging and keeps you on your toes because you don't know if that building, you'll never know if there's a clear building because it's not like you've ran through a map of ready or not per se, and you know where all the AI can spawn and where they can't spawn, because in this you just never know. All the enemies positions are different, the buildings are different. Some might have basements with rat tunnels to another house, and then you could clear one of those houses and they'll escape out the tunnels to the same house that you just cleared. It is a great use of procedurally generated maps that you don't usually see in these type of titles. The third point, which goes in a little bit of the second, is the customization of maps. Being able to customize the generation is so much fun. You can have less buildings, more buildings. You can have the buildings be more fortified or not fortified. You can change if the enemies are even harder than usual. It's just, there's so much fine tuning with it. It's just amazing. The fourth point, which is ultimately my favorite, is having veterans help you develop the game. You have all the interviews in all the videos they have, which are great to watch. They have quotes from veterans in between loading screens. You can tell that they really, really, really wanted to get the raw first-hand account from these guys who actually had to go and live it rather than the player base who sits there and plays the game and complains. You can tell that they really went all out in that aspect, and I commend them for it. It is such a good thing to do. And now we move to the cons, which I believe there's not a lot and they're all fixable. The first con is the janky controls. So the major drawback of the game is how wonky the controls kind of feel. Hopping into it, it just feels awkward doing things. Your F key is your interaction, and every time you do something, you're kind of locked in an animation. And especially with a game that's, as oriented with CQB as it is in urban fighting, when I go to open a door and I get locked in kind of an animation, you can get shot through that animation, while you're opening the door or something, or even hopping over things. You just get stuck, you get animation locked. And I think what they could do is that they could just make it so you're not, like, if you open a door, all you have to do, I think, is your character puts out his hand, kind of like what they do in Ready or Not. Your character puts out his hand and then the door kind of opens and you're still able to move around and stuff like that. I think that's better. And then for animation locking, if you're kicking down a door, it makes sense that your character has to physically kick down the door. And for the second con, is mainly just the high price for what it is. It's on early access, and $60 Canadian is a bit much for how much content they have in the game, but it really makes up for it in the replayability. And of course, I mean, if you get a couple buddies to get this game, is it's gonna be fun. But that being said, everything you do with your friends is gonna be fun. But I mean, if you're playing with a group, at least it makes the game so much more better. Which brings to the final con is that right now, if you are the only one who has this game, you're just not gonna have fun. There's no, it'll just be you, yourself, and you, and it's hard to do that in a game like this. And obviously, it would be hard to do that in any kind of game where, you know, it's centered around tactical gameplay and you're fighting against AI. And I'll just go into my fixes now. I think the easiest fix is just continuous development. You, as a developer, you want to keep pushing this game, keep adding updates, keep adding things. Things I'd like to see range from, you know, AI squad mates, which they said in their roadmap that they want to do for this year. They want to add AI teammates. They also want to add civilians, which would kind of bring a huge layer into the game. Right now, everybody's like a hostile, but in the actual battle, there was about I think it was 90% of the civilians fled after, and only there was still that 10% that stayed back. So I'd like to see that reflected and make that a challenge where you have to make split-second decisions. Is this a hostile, or is this someone I need to assist and not kill, pretty much. Another thing I'd like to see is I get what they're going right now in the game. There's 4 classes. There's I think there's obviously lead, there's ready, there's fire, and there's assist. And as that I'd like to see more classes, or if they want to go a different direction, maybe like what they have in ready or not, a loadout selector would be huge to the game. It would just benefit it and make it even more replayable and have different outcomes. Another thing I'd like to see changed or tweaked is just how the reinforcement system works. Right now, you have a little vehicle that follows behind you, and whenever people die, you have to go back to that vehicle and press F to open up the doors. But you can do that at any point. So as long as there's someone dead, you can go back and revive them, I guess, or reinforce yourself with another team member. Sorry, and you only get that once during the match, only once. So if you die right away and you use it, you're on your last live, pretty much. And if they're gonna have some sort of reinforcement system, at least make it so that, you know, you have more than one use, because it makes it you know, more enjoyable to have to go out and do these missions, because nobody wants to sit there and just kind of spectate for the entire match. It's not fun, and especially if you die early, or if you get shot and killed early, you just have to sit there and wait, because maybe you already used your reinforcement and you sit there and you're like, huh. But yeah, I guess that would be my final fix. They just have to keep up the updates, keep up the development, fix the janky controls by making them a little more friendly, or at least making them less animation based, and you know, add the AI teammates, which, like I said, in that roadmap, they want to do that, and just keep making the game unpredictable in the environments and stuff. Make the AI, sometimes the AI are a little dumb, but AI are pretty good, so keep making them, you know, smarter. And yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of my review right now. I'd say it's, you know, if you're really gonna like a game like this, go ahead and buy it. I mean, I would back it up with a few friends, and just, if you like games like this, you will enjoy it. But as of right now, it's certainly in early access, which is obvious. And maybe as more content comes in, I could justify the $60 paywall. But yeah, I mean, that's it for the video. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time.